You're on.
Okay. Pin pusher Obama. CNN has a report out. Now this is a liberal news network. CNN is liberal. Okay, that means that, excuse me, in the beginning they were on Obama's side, and what we're seeing in this latter time of Obama's rule is that 256 store Walmart store, one of the most prosperous chains in America, who thrived under the Bushes and under Reagan, and now with Obama, you know, the 256 stores closing, showing the results of another 4 years that the liberals wanted and illegally obtained. I think there's no way that, you know, well, you know what, and there's a lot of aspects as to why he was elected again. All of them is ignorance. All of them through ignorance. He obtained his position through ignorance, but nevertheless he is accomplishing God's will. Listen to this, okay? Should Obama, this is the excuse me, CNN report. Should Obama use the power of his pen to push? I'm going to tell you, a leader leads and a tyrant pushes. A leader leads and a tyrant pushes. Okay? My honey said, And I want to clearly show you that Obama is a tyrant today. He's a tyrant that pushes. He doesn't collect information according to the standard of the elders, the wisdom of the older people who's been there, done that type of thing. He doesn't. He just pushes people around. He goes in and signs with his pen everything he wants done. He's like, under my rule, you're going to do what I say. This is my house, and if you don't like the rules, get out. Type of thing, you know. Trouble is, this is not his house. Okay? Not your house, Obama. Alright. Let's get into a little bit more in depth of this CNN report, because biblically speaking, this is an Ahab Jezebel type of thing, just like it was with the Clintons. We have pretty much the same thing, except Obama has taken it one step further to push with the ink pen. Okay? If I can get this report to come up here, dated on April 15th, 2014. It was updated on that day. Okay. And it's got a pretty little picture of the White House. I may use that on my report. Jiminy crickets, man. Sometimes I have to literally fight with this computer. Immigration campaign. Republican Louis feels, and I can't say his last name, feels confident that President Obama will use his executive power to push through reform. House Speaker John Boehner feels confident that doing so will tank what little support the president has among Republicans or immigration reform. And now, you know, I'm not the sharpest guy in the world, as you can see, but you also can tell here that Obama's losing support, you know, even here back in 2014. And, you know, the Bible says in Proverbs 29:2, it says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And this is a clearly mournful situation here. You know, this is very, very clearly, and you know, when your supporters begin to mourn, when the people that gathered around you, you know, I had a dream that Obama, a lot of people reaching out to him, and he was reaching back and all this kind of stuff, and he slowly began to turn that hand that was help around, that to give them the middle finger, to flip them off. Okay, and and this truly, go on my YouTube. It's back about, I don't know, just it says Obama giving the finger to America. Just put that in, it should come up. Okay, and if I can, I'll try to get the exact name so it'll be easy to find. But anyway, the administration could shift non-criminals and minor offenders to the lowest deportation priorities. I think the president has a different decision to make here, said Stephen Yale. I can't even, French guy, okay, a professor at Cornell University Law School. You know, and then they act like, by quoting someone from a law school, that it makes illegal things okay. There's a reason why that we have those laws in place. There's a reason for that. All the men that put those laws in place are not ignorant. It's not wise to sidestep the elders of this country and to make our Constitution look like a foreign entity that is an offense to the thinking of today. That's ignorance to even contemplate that. You're talking about men who was founded on the righteous principle of everything that is good. And this is what I'm talking about. Okay? Ahab Jezebel situation in the Bible. Ahab Jezebel were two people that took over the helm, just like when Hillary and Bill was in office. They took over the helm, and they began to do everything immoral. They set up altars to strange gods. They began to sway people's opinion away from those things of God. They had the prophets of Baal come in rather than the prophets of God. And when Elijah had the battle, there was 400 particular prophets who were in direct order with Jezebel, and Jezebel ran the country. It wasn't Ahab, who was supposed to be king. Jezebel was all of a sudden running the country. Isn't that right? Yes, it is. Yeah. So, and just like with Bill wasn't really president. Hillary was back in those days, you know. And if you remember, there's a famous quotation she made: "Bill, don't start to grow a brain here." And so we could end up, you know, theoretically, I don't think it's going to happen. I still believe she's going to go to jail, but we could end up with 16 years of Hillary Clinton. A woman who detests the Constitution. A woman who hates everything that is written between the pages of the Bible. A woman who proclaims Christianity, but she is against everything that's in the book. A liar to the T. A woman who did not send help to 4 people who was trying to protect one man, a congressman who were, or not a congressman, but he was sent from our country to represent us into Libya, who was man, I can't think of the name of that. But anyway, you can tell it's early morning for me because my brain hasn't kicked in yet. But those 4 Americans who she let die. She let those Muslim terrorists blow them up. There was help in one particular place 3 hours away, another particular place 9 hours away. In all that time that they were fighting in battle, she did not send help. As a matter of fact, there is evidence that shows that she told them to stand down. Okay, and yeah, you know something? I may not be an easy target as you think, Hillary. God is on my side. Truth is on my side. So, alrighty. So let's see what happened here with Ahab and Jezebel. When Ahab and okay, let's read a little bit. Kings 1:19, or 1 Kings chapter 19. Ahab told Jezebel all that Elijah had done, and with all how he had slain all the prophets with the sword. That's when she had lost power, and this is coming to Hillary just as sure as Elijah took over, and in the same fashion. You watch. The Jezebel sent the messenger to Elijah, saying, "So let the gods do to me and the more, if I make not thy life as the life of one of them whom he had slain, tomorrow about this time." And when he saw that, he arose and went for his life to Beersheba. And Elijah didn't want to touch whom God has set in place. This is what I said. I still believe God has set Hillary in place. He set her in place that he may be glorified, that God may be glorified. The God that you hate, Hillary, is the one that has set you in place and will be glorified within himself with all that you're doing. All that you're doing, all that God has put within your heart to do will eventually glorify him. Even though you mean it for evil, God is meaning it for a good, and will in this nation. And you know something, I believe that Hillary Obama is taking counsel from Hillary in almost everything that he does. You know, like a guinea pig. Anyway, pencil pushing, and you know, Hillary will just be an extended view of Obama. That's all that's coming to pass. Okay, and how that Ahab and Jezebel, when a righteous man came to Ahab, and Ahab saw that the prophet of God had come before him, this is what Ahab said. He said, "How is it that you bring such evil upon the land?" Ahab said that to Jezebel, or to Elijah. "How is it that you bring evil upon the land?" And the prophet said to Elijah, "It's not I that brought evil, but you in forsaking the things of God." Same thing with Obama. Same thing with Hillary. They're forsaking the things of God. Okay? And with the pen, the executive order privilege that Obama has everything but annihilated the Congress and the Senate with, he has become the tyrant of the last days. He has become the tyrant of Ahab to the T. And you know what, man? You know, it hasn't come to head or anything like that, but I can guarantee you that Michelle Obama is a big thorn in his side and leading his heart in all the things that he's doing. Just sign the paper, get it over, you know. And now listen to this. One of the things that they're going to say in the campaign, when they start in the presidential campaign, they're going to say, unless you want to lose all that you have gained with the executive privileges of Obama, you better go out and vote and put Hillary in, or whoever Bernie Sanders or whichever one of those other communists that you want to vote for, you're going to lose everything, man, if you don't go out and vote. Now you're Democrat. But you know what? I bet you, I know at least 20 people who used to be liberal Democrats that are no longer. And I'm not talking about just in this state. I'm talking about probably within a 10-state range of people here. People that used to be Democrat, liberal, that are no longer. They have finally woken up, and you know what, man? I bet you a lot of them, when they go in there to vote, they're going to sit down and think for a minute. Now, really, should I really put more of this problematic thing into place? You know, and within this, should Obama use the CNN report, use the power of his pen to turn the tide of immigration reform? You know, and things like, you can read within this here that here's a very liberal news broadcast written by this guy who looks like he is his last name is Abdullah, you know. So what does that tell you? You know, I mean, people who used to be liberal are now starting to wake up to the things that are going on around us, around them. Okay, so pencil pushing reform, Ahab, Obama, you know, they have shown themselves openly now to be who they are and what they're up to. And I, for one, am glad that we can see this. I wrote a column, Obama's Trojan Horse, for 3.5 years. At least 3.5 years I wrote that column. And now you can see every word that I said in there was truth. Every word that I said was truth. All right, thank you for joining. We'll see you next time, Crossing the Middle Ministry.